This video is going to be all about context change. Changing up the context when we're training your dogs is one of the most important things that we can do. I think it gets overlooked quite a bit in dog training. An example is if we just teach your dog to lay on one comfy dog bed in one corner of your room and call it place training, that's not place training. If we teach your dog how to get in one black wire kennel in one corner of your bedroom and call it kennel training, that's not kennel training. Changing up the context is crucial to make sure that your dog is equipped to handle different situations. So in the regards of kennel training and place training, that's where you've already seen your trainers doing the multiple kennel game, changing up the location, inside garage, outside the garage, different parts of the garage themselves, different versions of kennels. Eventually, as we start driving with them places, they're going to be kenneled inside the vehicle. Same thing with place training. You've seen it on the mesh dog bed. You've probably seen a little bit on a comfy dog bed, maybe some of the wood boxes. But we are going to start to show your dogs that when we say place, kennel, sit, down, come, follow, when we give any of the obedience commands, it doesn't matter what the context is around us, they still need to accomplish that cue. We start off very controlled, right? Not changing a lot of context as you've seen in like the initial drills, but you're going to start to see it falling like dominoes to where we are constantly changing the context. The four corners game that your trainers are going to do with you today, you're going to see how that is a huge context shift, right? It's different parts of the driveway, inside the garage as well. And we try to throw out a variation of objects to work on that place command. So it could be, children's plastic play tables. It could be wood boxes, different versions of the mesh beds, a comfy dog bed, or it could be just a flat welcome mat on the ground. But this is going to start to show your dog that it's not just the Tempur-Pedic mattress inside the house or the one wire kennel inside of your living room. It can be anything. And now we are equipping your dog to go out into the real world with you after graduation and go on a cross-country trip. You show up to an Airbnb and boom, you throw your dog bed down. Now we're placing in somewhere your dog's never been before. You guys move somewhere, right? Even if it's, a short move, we're moving to a new home your dog's never been to. Now I can bring my dog inside, tell them place or kennel, and the training kicks in. Going to other places like veterinary clinics, boarding facilities, grooming facilities, travel in general, you're going to be exposed to different kennels, different variation, different brands, different materials. The plastic kennel that we have here, the Rufflin kennels, you probably don't have one of those at home. You most likely have some other version, whether it's another plastic or the black wire kennel is very popular, but the goal is that it doesn't matter. We tell your dog kennel, they go into that box, whatever it's made of, however it's configured, and they're okay with it. So changing the context is something that if you never do with your dog, they're not really equipped to handle any adversity in their life. So we really want to make sure that we're changing the context constantly. We're being very conscious of that. We're being very intentional with changing the context. So that way we're not just setting your dog up for failure saying, yeah, this works really well with me in this situation, but the wheels completely fall off in another situation. The last little piece of context change, which is one of the most important, is the context change of people. So as we advance out of this first week, you're going to start to see us meeting up with other trainers a couple times a week, switching up leashes. That's a huge context change because, again, if one dog is used to listening to one leader and that's the only person they ever have to interact with, it will inevitably be different and worse with someone new grabbing that leash because the dog's still going through that phase. You do things a little bit different, just mannerisms and movements, so your dog's trying to pick up on all that stuff. So you see us working through that proofing phase, changing the context, switching out the leashes, making sure that other owners and trainers get their hands on the leash and start interacting with your dog. And that is why it's so important to do these owner training sessions, and why that's a huge part of our curriculum is to make sure that the context of mom and dad and sisters and brothers, whoever is involved in that dog's life, comes back to our training area here, and we work through those drills to make sure that that context shifts with you as well. So enjoy the training videos, and always keep in mind that context change that we're working on.